I've lost control of my senses.
It's really like an open world game, this one, right?
Yeah.
It's like different than the other ones.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 15, as you said, yeah, is an open world. The first in the franchise because it's attempt basically to modernize the series. And yeah, traditionally with previous Final Fantasy games, yeah, they all have a kind of, I don't want to say a linear progression because that's not technically true. Because they have their world maps and
You
stuff
have a
like
bit
that.
of a kind of a linear story, and it takes you along, and then you get to a point where you get to explore the open world and do side quests and things like that.
Exactly. And in Final Fantasy 15, like, yeah, you have, well, I mean, you can see right now in the gameplay that it's completely different in that it's, yeah, you can run around, you can do tons of stuff. There's so much content for you to do and, yeah, and explore. And, you know, we're going to show you some bits right now. So what's just happened, I'm not sure if, yeah, you guys watching in chat just saw, we just had like a quick conversation with Cindy. I know all this will look quite familiar if you're familiar with Final Fantasy. So yeah, we just had basically to set the scenario up. The car de regalia has broken down. We're in the Hammerhead garage getting it fixed, and we just spoke to Cindy about we're a bit broke, so we need a little bit of cash, and Cindy has just offered us a job to get some money, and we are now looking at the astral sphere, which is part of the ascension system. This is how you level up your characters and progress.
It's the new Crystarium.
Yeah, or if you play Final Fantasy X, it's sort of similar to the sphere grid as well. So you gain AP throughout the game by doing a variety of things, mostly by leveling up, but by doing certain other kind of like other side quests, conversations, that kind of thing. You gain AP, which you use to unlock skills for each of the 4 main characters.
And so we've got Noctis and his 3 mates, basically, who are going to be with him on this quest. Do they each have different talents that you develop, or can they all have the same talents?
Oh, no, they all have... Actually, we can have a look. So you can see from the... This is Noctis's, the main character. Noctis is the character that you play as. He is the Crown Prince of the Kingdom of Lucis, and yeah, you can see the kind of skills that he can unlock, which are quite combat focused. They all kind of focus around his special ability, which is his Warp Strike. This is Prompto, is his Astral Sphere, and Prompto uses a gun. So he's more long range, and you can see some of his skills, so he can equip machinery. As you can see, like Fatal Shot, obviously do with firearms, with guns, and then Ignis, you can see below, his abilities revolve around Mark. His main skill, if you will, his battle skill is Mark.
Okay.
So that marks. Well, actually, we'll hopefully be able to show you in a bit of gameplay.
Does he buff?
Yeah, pretty much.
But
I mean,
if I see this, like, is it a difficult game to get into if you never played Final Fantasy
Oh,
before?
not at all.
Because this looks like, for me, like, what was this? What's happening? What do you have to do? But is it really something you get to learn when you're playing this game?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, yeah, we've kind of just jumped straight into the game, so like, I'm just trying to explain everything as quickly as I can.
Right.
But yeah, if you are a hardcore Final Fantasy fan, there's loads of depth for you to get involved. But then yeah, if you're completely new to the franchise, if you've never touched a Final Fantasy game, everything is easily accessible. It's easy to understand. It's one of the things, it's easy to understand and learn, but difficult to master because the skills, I mean, obviously you don't get all your skills right away. You learn as you progress through the game, and you have the choice to level up characters how you want, depending on where you allocate your AP. So you can, yeah, you'll learn how all the characters, how they all fight, I guess, and like more about the personalities, all that kind of stuff. As you play through the game, and it's all very explained and displayed. It's not, you're not just thrown in the deep end and expected to know like exactly what all these characters are going to be able to do like by the end of the game.
And so right here we can see some side quests that are actually given to us by people we're talking to. So the diner's where you can go to get new areas of the map and essentially get given beasts to go out and kill.
Yeah. So the diner, in this area of what I say at the beginning of the game, as you mentioned, this is where you can find out some new information, start some new hunts. So if any of Final Fantasy 12 fans out there, it's sort of similar to that. So there are monsters around that you're going to hunt and kill for a side quest.
You explore the map as well, like after a while you will see more, explore more, is it?
Yep, okay. For sure. There's definitely, there's tons of areas, tons of things to see, explore, discover. And yeah, I mean these.
Looks great. Looks really beautiful.
One of the
It does
things.
look absolutely stunning. The graphics,
Yeah.
the visuals, the detail in
really
the truck
smooth.
there. It really is I'm sure everyone looking at it now is blown away by the high quality fidelity of the visuals.
He's got lovely hair.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you mean me, don't you? With my mini painter.
Always.
One of
Why
the
you wearing a
Oh,
cap?
you mean the game? Oh, the game. Sorry.
One of the things, though, when we were in the diner just then and we were getting the side quests, one of the things that I really liked is it actually recommends what level you should be at when you go and play that game. Because I don't know about anyone on Twitch right now, but there have been some side quests I've taken on in previous Final Fantasy games where I have died really miserably and depressingly because I just was not at that level and I had to remember to go back and kind of farm for them once I'd finished the game. So it's quite useful having this recommendation. Oh, we're going into a battle. We're going
Yep.
into a
I
battle.
hear it, like I hear the sound. Of
There you go.
professional.
It's getting hyped.
Yeah.
Get hyped, son.
Okay.
So yeah, one
Yeah.
thing that's really different about Final Fantasy 15 compared to other Final Fantasy games in particular is, combat's all real time now. I mean, you can see how fast and like how action orientated the battle system is. So gone are the way of like the menu-based systems, and it's all real time.
No ATV.
I mean, how much of a decision was that to make? Obviously, Final Fantasy, you've had, not just the main 15 games, but all kinds of other secondary games, and it's one of the most beloved franchises in all of gaming. How much of a brave decision was that to, kind of change the fighting mechanics?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, obviously, I'm not a developer, so I can't really speak.
I need to know the answer.
on behalf of the dev team. But the thing is, like, the Final Fantasy franchise has always been about innovation and change. Like, that's why all of the games are completely different. So yeah, if you are new to the franchise, you do not have to play 1 to 14 or any of the other Final Fantasy games to get into Final Fantasy 15.
That's nice.
This can be your first because it's a new world with new characters, new story, new systems. But if you are a fan, there are lots of like kind of nods and references and things that, like themes that travel across all Final Fantasy games.
Can we talk about the battle AI? So going back to Final Fantasy 13, of course you had the battle paradigm, so you could kind of control what the members of your team were doing. So how do you have any impact, if you can, on your 3 cohorts?
Well, I guess Noctis is his best friend, Prompto, Ignis, and Gladio. They're all AI driven. So as you can see, like in the battle going on right now, like they will basically do their own thing. I mean, the AI is really advanced.
So you literally never actually have to program it in the Ascension to tell them what to do. You just basically skill them up as you see fit, and if you need healing and they're still alive, they're potentially going to heal you.
yeah, exactly. I mean, hopefully Ian, who is playing the game, isn't going to die, so we won't see that.
I hope
But, no pressure.
I'm going to try.
But yeah, you just saw actually that was a combo attack. So the green bar on the left, the more you fight, the more that fills up. And when it fills up, you can initiate a combo attack between Noctis and one of the 3 characters. I was looking a bit, I only saw in the corner of my eye there. I think Ian just used Prompto for his combo attack. But yeah, so the AI controls the characters, but what you can do is, because it's all real time and everything's going on, as you see it, you can position yourself in ways where you can do team up attacks with certain characters. Like if you attack enemies from behind, and if one of your other characters is also attacking from behind, you can do a joint cross attack, which is something that just happens kind of naturally because one of the main themes of Final Fantasy 15 is the theme of brotherhood. It's about these 4 characters, Noctis, Prompto, Ignis, and Gladio. The thing actually that's never actually been done before in the mainline Final Fantasy games is that for the first time in Final Fantasy 15, you start with your entire party. In other games, and especially like in other RPGs, generally speaking, you go around and you collect allies and you get to know them throughout the story.
Yep.
In Final
You need
Fantasy
to earn
15,
them.
yeah, exactly. But in Final Fantasy 15, you have your party, you have them from the start, and they have long history together. They're best friends. So we wanted to represent this in I guess this is represented in the combat system because, there we go. That was Gladio's team up attack. Because, what was I saying? So we wanted the battle system to be like, you can see the brotherhood between the characters. So if it's like, let's say you were in this situation yourself and you had, your best friend with you. You wouldn't have to tell them, hey pal, I'm going to go do this. You do this. You just see it like, I'll back you up, son. We'll smash it. You know what I mean?
We'll
So
smash
like,
it.
Yeah, we always have.
So, yeah, just like always, exactly. So,
Yeah.
so it's like that is part of the reason why. Well, again, because I can't speak for the dev team, but like, I assume that's part of the reason why, those systems are in place, and it's also why we have the bigger Final Fantasy 15 universe, which again is something quite unique to Final Fantasy 15.
I think that's quite exciting, the fact that there's a movie and there's going to be an app and all kinds of other stuff to build into this world. It's going to be a huge voyage that people can undertake in different kinds of media.
Now, I've seen Noctis's fiance, Luna Frey, Luna for short, and she seems like a really powerful character. So she's an oracle, which kind of makes me think a little bit of Yuna and her, like, how she used to send spirits. It feels to me like there's almost like a kind of nice throwback in a way. I don't know if that's true or not. It's just how me as a Final Fantasy fan likes to think. But she seems really powerful. Are we going to see her in battle at some point?
Well, we're not going to see anything past the beginning of the game today, or at EGX, and I wouldn't want to ruin anything in terms of.
Asking too many questions.
Yeah,
We have to find out ourselves.
Spoiler. Hashtag no spoilers.
Can I ask then? Of course, a huge part of Final Fantasy is your Elodians or your summon, and people got very excited with the TGS trailer because we saw Shiva.
You
So
do? You do?
are we gonna maybe get some friends at some point?
Well, I think
Hashtag no spoilers.
can't get
Yeah,
anything.
ring spoilers. You're probing,
Yeah.
but you can't get them
We're
answers.
trying.
Because that's the
really.
thing. It's like these are the kind of things I think. Well, personally, as a Final Fantasy fan myself, like I kind of want to discover.
Yeah.
Or I expect fans would want to discover themselves. So we don't want to give away too much.
Oh,
But can we talk actually going back almost to the beginning, so to speak? But can we find out a little bit more about Noctis and why he's actually out here?
Yeah.
What's the reason he's on this mission?
So a lot of this is kind of explained in the because when we jumped into the game, we obviously skipped the beginning, the opening cutscenes and all that kind of stuff. Just so we could get into the action much faster. But in the opening scenes, this is kind of all kind of explained. And as well, if you watch the film Kingsglaive, Final Fantasy 15, and the anime Brotherhood, which is you can watch for free on YouTube, YouTube/Final Fantasy 15. So the reason why Noctis and his friends are on this journey is there's some tensions. I'm trying to not give away any spoilers for Kingsglaive or anything. You know what I mean?
He's trying real hard.
So there's some tensions between
Uh-oh.
the Kingdom of Lucis.
You're going to die.
Oh no, he just used up all his MP.
Oh, it will
So
be really nice though. If it will.
you're wishing
I
ill
wouldn't want
on
to
my.
see that.
So what is it? Yeah, so there's some tensions between the Kingdom of Lucis, which is Noctis and his friends where they're from, and the Niflheim Empire. And Noctis is to be wed, as you mentioned, to Lunafreya in a place called Tenebrae. So basically, Noctis and his friends are basically on a journey to Tenebrae for Noctis to get married. Basically, is why they're on this journey at this point in the game.
So this is basically like a really action-packed stag do. Most people go to Prague. These guys go to the Outback.
Do you know what's great as well? Prompto will take photos along the way, and every time you camp, you will see a selection of the photos he's taken.
Oh, awesome.
And just like on a stag do, some of them aren't great, some of them are brilliant. And you can just imagine, like, if I was out with my friends on a road trip to go see my bride-to-be, then those are the exact sort of photographs my friends would be taking the whole time.
And
And exactly the same photographs he tried to sweep under the rug.
Yeah.
That's the thing, I think. I mean, as I say, I've not really played Final Fantasy. It's one of those things that just I've not got into. But having watched a lot of it on Twitch and knowing people who do play it, it's that sense of camaraderie, that sense of banding together and stuff like that. The photos, the fact that you've got your companions from the start, it's just going to fully enrich the experience even more.
Yeah, and in that kind of regard, yeah, each of the characters do have a certain role to play, if you will. Like, mostly to do with their personal interests. So Prompto, photography is one of his main hobbies, his love. Ignis, you'll see when we camp, is the cook. He's the chef of the group, and be careful when you're hungry when you play this game because the food looks amazing. Gladio likes the outdoors, so he's the main, I guess, camping expert, if you will, and Noctis loves fishing. So as part of the side quests and like extra I was going to call them extracurricular activities. That's very school, isn't it? Like in school. Yeah, you can go fishing. Like
People
one of the
love
mini games.
fishing side quests as well. Any game with fishing side quests,
They
people
put hours in it.
people
Hours.
will lap that up.
But I really love the swords in it. They're like so big. They look amazing.
I'm pretty sure
Not
I
only
saw-
swords, but
Oh,
I think I saw one of the other guys kind of just get weighed down by his sword.
Yeah.
A moment ago. He sort of swung around and went.
Well, that's it. It's because they're big and they're heavy.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to wind up. Got to wind up to get that big. Deal. There we go. Deal with that big damage. So yeah, that's the other thing about the battle system is that it's again very easy to pick up and understand and learn, but there's a lot of depth to it if you want to go in deeper. So you can change your weapon at will. You can see kind of the weapon kind of select on the bottom left, which
you
you're
can
in.
select what you want
which
to
he's
use.
choosing, yeah.
Okay.
And if you hold down the attack button, you initiate your blitz attack, which is I don't want to say it's basically your primary attack. And at certain points during that, you can change weapons instantly, so you can extend your combos. And if you hold down the directional button with different weapons, you can perform weapon-specific types of attacks. So you saw like with the broadsword, like where knock this kind of crashing down the side. Like with the lance, I don't know if you guys caught it on the stream. There was a lunge attack, and with the sword, you can sidestep, you can backstep, and with certain weapons, again, like with the spear, you can launch yourself up in the air, do aerial combos, and yeah, you can link them all together. So it's simple in the sense that yeah, you can pick up and you can play the game and you can vanquish your foes. But then if you want to do it with style, and then if you want to be really pro at the game, it does have that depth to it.
and when you get to those harder monsters and those harder enemies, you're going to need to, by that point, hopefully you'll have practiced enough to be able to do it. But you don't want to run into those too early on in the game because they're going to be mean.
And we've just successfully completed a side quest, and we've actually just gone straight into another one. So is this chapter of the game basically a series of linked quests?
These actual quests are part of the main storyline, but yeah, there's links between story because it's open world. The quest lines have to flow because otherwise it would totally break that open world experience. You'd be like every time you take a step back, and then you have to go initiate something else.
Yeah. Oh, are we going camping?
We're going to go camping.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we need to rest up before the next fight.
Yeah. I've seen in the trailers they've got those little camp seats.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Because this is the other thing with that we haven't actually mentioned about the level up system is that when you do battle, you obviously gain XP, but to actually level up, you have to camp or you have to rest, and then you basically cash in all the XP that you've banked. And the reason for that is, well, the thing is, it's like the way in the world, in like kind of the lore, it's like they're camping and they're all kind of hanging out, and they're basically like reflecting on their experience throughout the day or however long it was since you last camped, and then that's when they take stock of what they've learned, and then hence they get stronger.
Because you have to do that every day, that camping, like for how long, or how is that?
You can stay out at night. There are more dangerous creatures out at night. So, it depends on how much you want to risk and reward sticking around or sleeping. But, you can stay out. You also get boosts, like buffs from the recipes that Ignis makes, and we'll see those in a moment. But they will run out when it hits nighttime. So if you stay out, you're not going to have that benefit if you've not camped for a while.
I'm really excited about the fact that you have to go and camp, because it's kind of a reminder of myself to go to bed. Because like, back in the day when I played Final Fantasy X, I spent about 2 weeks in bed. I just left bed to have the occasional shower and some
Occasional?
food. And I just used to go back to bed, and I literally just played continuously. I think my GCSEs. So
Oh,
it's
it's
fine.
okay,
I had
okay,
study
okay,
leave. I had
GCSEs.
spare time.
No, games are more important than school and work.
Exactly.
Surely. Like, come
Exactly.
on.
Where would we
Exactly.
be if we actually paid attention
Exactly.
in school?
I don't know.
Exactly. I wouldn't be here.
For the record, we did pay attention. We did pay attention in
Yeah.
school.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
all got-
First school, then the
Yeah,
rest.
yeah. That.
Cut
stay,
it.
yeah, stay in school, kids.
Yeah.
Stay in school. School is important.
One thing I've noticed about this game, as I say, I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy expert, but they're generally set in like high fantasy worlds. This seems to be set in a more modern day setting. I mean, what challenges does that bring, and what is that going to mean for the players coming into the game?
I think it's, it means that you can sort of, you see these familiar surroundings, these familiar landscapes, so you sort of instantly kind of gel with it. You kind of, you get it. You know what the world sort of how it works, and then you see these massive, fantastical creatures, and it's like it really brings that sense of awe and wonder. Like, oh my god, I want to explore this, and I want to see, everything, and having that sort of rooted in that reality meets fantasy kind of side to it. I think that really just gives you something that you can acknowledge and sort of gel with, but there's also, and then get further and deeper into it when you actually get to grips with everything that's going on.
Can we have a look at this menu?
I was going to
I
say,
was like,
just before we go on,
Enough about the game.
Yeah.
Let's look at the food.
look
I
at this
can see
food.
some
No one got breakfast
toasty
yet,
rice
so-
balls
Yeah.
and veggie medley stew.
I'm a fan of toast.
Flame roasted
I'm not
toast, no
surprised.
less.
What was the egg one?
So here you can learn it,
Face breakfast
and then
sandwich.
later on you can make it.
These
or-
are the ones that we already know, and then as you go through the game and you discover new ingredients and you meet people, you can find new recipes, and then they'll be
Okay.
added to this list. So
Okay.
also you need to have the ingredients in your stock, so when you're running around the world and you're picking stuff up.
Oh, you're getting them.
Yeah. So what do we want to eat, guys?
I like the look of that open-faced breakfast sandwich. The
That-
eggs,
yeah.
the ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Let's go.
Geeky
Let's-
ham.
I love the way that you guys have instantly looked at what the food you want to eat, rather than like the actual
Yeah.
stats.
Oh,
like
oh,
a
right.
bus that you
Probably
actually
because
get.
we didn't have really breakfast. I think that's why it
Nice
is.
to increase the attack by 30. It's not just a fact.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
it's
It's not
eggs. That looks lovely though.
That is a beautiful egg.
And that's,
That's
the graphics there, even just the shine on the plate, and it really showing off the technology of the time. And these Final Fantasy's always been like kind of ahead of the curve when it comes to the visuals and the presentation, and it seems like it's knocked it out of the park again.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Is there
On
gonna-
behalf of the dev team, thank you.
Is there going to be any campfire banter?
Oh yeah, like there's there's a lot of exciting little things that happen at random moments or when you get to specific places, and it's all very much making you feel part of that group of guys, and that they actually are friends, and the sort of the banter that they have between each other sort of really drives that friendship home. So
Yeah,
here's
it's a shame you can't hear it. Well, I guess because we're talking so much. Yeah, you
Well,
can't hear some
the
of the
music that you heard like a little bit before, it sounds like, or now I think still, it sounds like you're in a restaurant having like a nice meal and such.
I wouldn't mind Ignis cooking for me. But yeah, these are the photos that Prompto has taken from
this
the
is-
day.
this
So
is
yeah,
great.
that's
That was
this is
amazing.
great. This,
this-
well, not so much.
Yeah.
That's not the
It
photo I
wasn't-
take.
Oh, that
Wrong.
one, yeah.
to be fair, it was in the middle of a battle,
Yeah.
so he probably had other things to be thinking of.
Are these unique to your gameplay as well?
Yeah.
That's
Sweet.
nice.
Some of them, like the bits that happen like in the key bits of the story, like the bits at the beginning, on the end. So where you see Cindy, where you knocked it. This is from the opening of the game. So some of the photos, because they're big plot points, will be reoccurring through everyone's game.
Yeah. Some are preset, and then the others are randomly generated based on your actions.
Definitely with the
So-
fight and such.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is why, and it's really cool because you get something like this. It's great. I want to share that right now. Like, look
The
how
next one is
the next
something
one's
like,
like,
yeah,
okay,
great.
Prompto, you should have been, avoiding
This one-
the safe
this one is good one.
This was good. This is
Yeah.
like, the groom to be has fallen over. Let's take a photo.
Yeah.
It's like one of those photo booths when you're on a roller coaster at Thorpe Park or something, and then you like,
Okay.
Now we wait.
oh, it's thing.
And
So
the
does
other,
it save every time you get to a campsite?
yeah,
There's auto save and there's manual save.
And if you, I was going to say this really quietly, but if you die, does it just take you back to before the last battle like it does in the previous games? It just lets you try again straight away, or?
If you die, you're going to have to go back to the last save. So there's double auto save, so it will save continuously. But if you get too overzealous, then you're going to have to. But there's some really cool systems in place for when you die. So you see the health meter; it will go down as you get hit, and when it gets to the bottom, the whole thing starts to reduce, and that's as much health as you can regenerate next. So when that goes, then you're done. But you can actually have your friends come save you in battle. So if you're staggering around, you don't have any potions left, and you think you're on your last legs, you can sort of keep going for as long as you can. Somebody will come in and save you, and
and of course you can use items like Phoenix Down to
Yes.
bring yourself back as well.
yeah, you can bring up this menu, choose who you want. Nobody needs it, so we're not going to use it. But
But if they all die, you're still up. You can get them back to life, or
Yeah, the other characters have a similar system to you.
okay.
yeah, you can use Phoenix Downs to bring them back.
Is
Just
there only
stock
one
up on
healer in
those.
the party, or do they all have healing skills?
They can all heal you, So some of them have techniques in the skill tree that you can unlock that are more focused towards healing. So, and some of them have different states in which they do more healing. So like Ignis, for example, I think he has a technique where if he's got full health, he does a better boost to you and stuff like that.
Yeah, we saw early on in the stream when we were going through the astral spheres with the attention system that, yeah, both Prompto and Ignis had heal abilities that you could unlock next if you wanted to.
We'll find something shiny.
And that's the exciting thing as well is, you know, you've got these elements that people can, you know, are used to from previous Final Fantasy games, you know, Phoenix Downs and Chocobos and all that kind of stuff, but also for someone that's new, it's not so kind of, oh my god, what is all these things? It's stuff that you're going to slowly learn, and I think a lot of Final Fantasy games in the past might have been, new players might be put off, oh, I've not played the first one, I don't understand the battle mechanics, but in this one you've got a deep system for veteran players, but you've also got a nice introduction for new players as well.
Exactly, and I think that's also, Joan, like you guys touched upon it before, like how everything is like, has that sense of realism, because it makes it more relatable, right? Because you look at these guys and you're like, oh, they're guys, they're driving a car, I understand that. Whereas if they were, well, you should. You should understand that. But then if, like in previous Final Fantasy games, if you saw them flying around in an airship, you might be like,